Your English podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Your English podcast, the best way to improve your English. Something like that.
That's the way.
And it also says their episodes are usually, 20 to 30 minutes long?
Typically.
Okay. But our mission here in this deep dive is to really distill the most impactful bits from their material, showing you how English genuinely, swings open those professional doors. So this conversation is really tailored for you, whether you're maybe prepping for a big international meeting or perhaps trying to get up to speed on a new global field, or maybe you're just really curious about using language for, serious professional growth. We're basically here to give you a shortcut to being remarkably well-informed, maybe with some surprising facts and just enough humor, hopefully, to keep you hooked. So let's kick things off. Let's unpack this. Why has English become so non-negotiable? It feels less like just an asset these days and more like, an essential condition for success in today's global market.
It really does feel that way. And the core finding from the material we looked at is that English functions as the undeniable lingua franca of international business. You can think of it almost like the default operating system for, pretty much any professional interaction that crosses borders. Without it, you're sort of trying to connect different devices that just don't have a common port,
Yeah, that makes sense. It's not just about basic communication, right?
Yeah.
We found so many concrete advantages listed. This material highlights how English is really crucial for working directly with international companies, for thriving in those agile startups that inherently think globally from day one, and for engaging effectively in overseas projects.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting a job. It feels like it's about accessing a completely different tier of job sometimes. It directly expands your professional network and opens up much better job vacancies that you might just not even see otherwise.
Exactly. And what's particularly compelling, I think, is how this proficiency lets you participate in global professional development. I mean, imagine being able to attend a really groundbreaking international conference or join a specialized webinar, all happening in English naturally. The source really emphasizes this as a major advantage for specialists who need to stay not just current, but, truly plugged into the leading edge of their field worldwide. It's about being in the global conversation, not just watching it.
That really resonates. Okay, so if English is this kind of universal key, what does that actually mean for finding new roles? Getting involved in interesting international work. Does it translate into tangible opportunities you can actually apply for?
Oh, absolutely. The material is very clear on this. Companies are actively, even aggressively, seeking out professionals who have international experience and strong English skills. It specifically points out that employers don't just, prefer it. They highly value the ability to communicate seamlessly. That's the key word, seamlessly, with foreign colleagues, partners, clients. It's not just about understanding the words, it's about building trust and, frankly, efficiency across different cultures.
Right. It's about that smooth interaction. And this isn't just theoretical, is it? We're talking about really concrete opportunities, things like securing positions where you actually work abroad, maybe relocating for that dream role, or even working within international corporations right in your home country, but being part of global teams. It's also about being able to participate in those really important global projects where English isn't just helpful, it's an absolute non-negotiable requirement. Like if you're a software engineer, being able to read and contribute to documentation in English or join daily stand-ups with a distributed team, that's just the baseline now, isn't it?
It really is. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the source really hammers home the significant advantages English offers for pursuing the whole world of freelance and remote work, which is booming. Think about it. English unlocks entire global marketplaces, platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. It makes these flexible opportunities genuinely accessible worldwide.
That's a great point.
You're no longer limited to clients just in your own city or country. You could be, I don't know, a designer in Bali working for a tech startup in Berlin, all because you share a common language. It really democratizes access to a global talent pool.
And these aren't just abstract concepts. The material we looked at shared some really compelling personal stories, anecdotes from the hosts of that Your English podcast, Alex and Nina. Alex, for instance, described how his improved English let him confidently negotiate terms directly with a new client based in Tokyo, which was a critical interaction, apparently, that directly led to him getting promoted to senior business development manager. He went from a regional focus to handling multi-country accounts simply because he could converse, persuade, and build rapport effectively in English.
That's a powerful example. And Nina's story is just as illustrative. She talked about how studying English didn't just broaden her horizons, as you might expect, but it actually helped her successfully pitch her innovative project at a major international tech conference. So this wasn't just about attending, it was about getting her work seen, potentially funded, on a global stage, something that probably wouldn't have been possible without high-level English skills.
Definitely not.
And beyond just these individual stories, the material explicitly mentions how English helps professionals build really powerful global networks, using platforms like LinkedIn, obviously, but even local meetup groups that cater to international professionals. It's about fundamentally expanding your connections way beyond your local boundaries.
This is where it gets really interesting, I think. The text spends quite a bit of time on the personal journeys, the achievements of these individuals, showing how English wasn't just another skill they picked up.
Huh.
It seems like it was a genuine catalyst for some major life and career changes for them. We heard about Alex's specific career advancement, which was directly linked, they say, to his English studies, including that significant promotion we just mentioned. I mean, imagine that, a direct, measurable link between improving your language fluency and actually moving up within your company. It's not just a soft skill then, is it? It's a hard competitive edge.
Absolutely.
And Nina's story, too, it illustrates how English helped her land not just any job, but what she described as her dream job in a global consulting firm. Her ability to collaborate effectively with foreign partners and clients, understanding those cultural nuances through the language, that opened up entirely new avenues for her.
Yeah, it's more than translation.
Exactly. She wasn't just translating words. She was translating complex business ideas, building trust across continents, which led to major client wins for her firm.
And the source highlights some specific, often quite high-stakes situations where English was absolutely decisive for them. Things like navigating tricky job interviews conducted entirely in English, handling critical business negotiations where precise language matters immensely, and just ensuring that day-to-day collaboration with international clients was smooth and effective. It also, quite candidly, touches on how consistent practice helped them get over those initial language barriers. It reminds you it's definitely a journey, not just a destination. There were probably stumbles, but persistence paid off.
Definitely. And the overarching message, the motivational takeaway from these personal stories seems crystal clear. These accounts act as really powerful inspiration. They confirm that consistent hard work in learning English genuinely pays dividends. It's not just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists. It seems to fundamentally boost your personal confidence, broaden your perspective, and dramatically enhance your professional competitiveness in the global marketplace. Turns out that old saying about investment in knowledge really holds true for language, perhaps especially English. Okay, so if you're listening and feeling inspired now, maybe even a little bit daunted, what are the concrete, practical steps you can actually take? How can you boost your career-focused English skills? Because it's one thing to feel motivated, right? But it's another to know exactly where to start, especially when your time is limited and valuable.
Right. Well, the material offers some incredibly practical advice here. It suggests leveraging online courses, professional trainings, and webinars that are already conducted in English. So you're not just practicing language, you're actually learning valuable content through the medium of English, kind of
Yeah.
a two-for-one deal.
Sorry.
And crucially, it emphasizes studying specialized business English vocabulary and terminology that's relevant to your specific field. Don't just learn generic phrases, learn the language of your industry, whether that's finance, tech, marketing, whatever.
That makes sense. Synergy versus hello.
Exactly.
Mm.
It also strongly recommends participating in language clubs or maybe international online communities, discussion groups, places where you can get real world, maybe lower pressure
Yeah.
practice.
And they don't just say practice vaguely, do they? The source specifically highlights some really high impact methods. Things like role playing exercises for common business scenarios like handling a customer complaint or presenting a proposal.
Mm-hmm.
Also, mock job interviews in English, and even practicing delivering presentations. These aren't just about language. They develop those essential business communication skills at the same time, like preparing for a big client pitch, doing a dry run in English is like a double workout for your brain.
That's a great way to put it. And this brings up an important point for many professionals. What about formal recognition? Proving your skills. The source clearly stresses the importance of language certifications, things like TOEFL and IELTS, which are widely recognized, maybe more for academic or general use,
Right.
or the Business English Certificate, the BSc, which is specifically tailored for professional communication. Having one of these on your resume can be a significant boost, especially when you're applying for those international roles we talked about. It also advises a kind of balanced approach. Combine instruction, maybe from native speakers if possible, with really diligent self-study. Don't just rely on one method.
Good advice. And in this digital age, it seems the material really leans into leveraging modern technology, which makes sense. It details a whole range of online resources, from comprehensive learning platforms like Coursera or edX maybe, down to simple mobile apps like Anki or Quizlet for quick vocabulary review on the go.
Yeah, those flashcard apps are great.
Totally. It also points to engaging with online communities and social media groups, not just for language practice buddies, but specifically to forge new professional contacts internationally. It's about using every digital tool you have to both learn and network.
And here's where it gets quite innovative, I thought. The text even suggests not being afraid to use AI chatbots and virtual assistants for practicing business communication scenarios.
Really, like practice negotiating with an AI.
Kind of. Imagine rehearsing a difficult conversation or practicing your elevator pitch with an AI tool. It sounds futuristic, but it's becoming feasible. It also recommends leveraging professional networks like LinkedIn, not just for job hunting, but actively for language learning, maybe by joining industry discussions in English or connecting with international peers and just observing how they communicate.
That's clever.
The core idea running through all this seems to be making learning flexible, interactive, and really precisely adapted to the actual demands of the modern job market. It's about weaving English practice seamlessly into your existing professional life.
Okay, that's a lot of practical stuff. Finally, let's talk about the long game. The marathon, not the sprint, right? Continuous learning and keeping that career motivation burning. Because English, especially in a professional context, isn't really a one and done skill, is it? The global landscape keeps shifting.
Absolutely not. The source really underscores the vital importance of continuous education for achieving sustained career growth. It advises professionals to actively follow trends in their industry, but specifically in English, and to consistently study the specialized lexicon, the jargon, as their field evolves. It's about staying relevant, adaptable, and always being ready for that next opportunity or maybe the next technological disruption.
And Alex from your English podcast apparently shared how this regular self-education, going beyond just formal classes, made him significantly more competitive in his field. He mentioned things like staying current with industry news by reading international journals online, attending virtual keynotes, just constantly absorbing information in English. And the material strongly suggests that your motivation for learning English should be deeply connected, not just to the language itself, but to your personal aspirational career goals. That makes it feel like a really personal investment, not just, homework.
Exactly, it reframes it. And the material provides compelling examples of how this sustained effort, this English proficiency, can directly lead to new levels of career advancement, like getting that promotion or landing a new, more senior role. It also emphasizes the maybe subtle but powerful benefit of regularly updating your resume, not just with big certificates, but even listing new courses you've taken or specific project experiences where English was crucial. It's about visibly demonstrating your ongoing commitment to growth and your global competence.
So ultimately, this continuous learning, developing strong English skills, it leads to increased confidence, sure, but also the ability to become a genuinely highly sought after specialist in your field, not just locally, but on an international stage. It's about transforming yourself into a truly global professional, someone who can navigate complex challenges and seize opportunities right across borders. So to wrap up, we've really explored how English acts as this invaluable, almost strategic investment in your career. It literally opens doors to international projects, significant advancements, and just a broader professional worldview in today's global job market.
Yeah, and I think what we've uncovered today based on this material isn't just about, accumulating vocabulary or mastering grammar. It feels more profound than that. It seems to be about a real transformation of your professional identity almost. Gaining a truly global perspective that extends far beyond your immediate city or country, allowing you to connect, compete, and contribute on a completely new scale.
That's a great final thought. So, for you listening, we hope this deep dive helps you reflect on your own journey. Maybe consider what aspect of this discussion resonated most deeply with you. How could English unlock your next big opportunity? And perhaps more importantly, what small actionable step could you take today, maybe even right after this, to move closer towards that goal? We really hope this deep dive empowers you to move forward with confidence in your own professional journey. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.